Let's talk about light. Light has been an essential part of our life since the very beginning of time. Without light, life ceases to exist. Not just from the heat, but just from every aspect of our lives, whether it's our plants and our food, to our own personal beings. Light is an essential part of life. In our modern lifestyles, we just don't have it. We have to find other alternative sources that reproduce that natural light to really give us that quality of life and wellness that we're looking for. Light isn't just about waking up our minds or so we can see, but light actually has many functions for the body. So if you really think about when we wake up in the morning, it isn't just about our minds waking up, but it also activates many of our functions in our body. Before the light bulb was invented, we used to be a light-based society. We used to wake up in the morning at sunrise, we'd be out in the field all day, we'd go to bed at sunset, and we were exposed to that natural light. Whereas today, in our modern lifestyle, we're waking up hours after sunrise, we're immediately go indoors to our workplace where we're surrounded with artificial light, and we're really not exposed to that natural light. So what is it that I mean by natural light? Not sunlight, but natural light. So natural light is when you look up in the blue in the sky, what causes that blue in the sky? So that blue in the sky is actually a result of all these different gases in the atmosphere that get excited through solar radiation to release photons of light. But as a result of all that stuff that's happening on the sun, we're actually creating light here on Earth. And that natural light here on Earth is the gases that we have in our atmosphere that are excited to fluorescent, that are releasing that natural light. So if I go from a room that just is using incandescent light and I go outside into the visible light, what does it really happen? So if you really think about it, it's happening specifically on an atomic level. So every element vibrates in that visible light spectrum. It's been documented, physics has clearly proven that atoms and elements vibrate in the visible light spectrum. And when you go outside, it begins to activate things on an atomic level, which will affect things on a molecular level, which will affect things on a nuclear level. So in the end of the day, that light begins to activate a lot of different things that really have many different facets of the body and how it interacts, improves cell function, it helps you uptake nutrients, helps you detoxify, helps you make new cells better, gives you more energy, less depression. There's many different benefits, and you know it as well as I do. When we go outside and we're walking out in the beautiful sunlight, you feel a lot different than when you wake up and you go out and it's a cloudy day. And it isn't just because it's the cloud, it's actually that light that it's blocking. And also in the wintertime, especially in the northern latitudes when you're not around the light all the time, people really begin to be affected by it. And it isn't just a mental thing, but it's a physical thing. There are many devices out there that mimic that visible light. So how do they actually do that? They do it exactly like nature does. They take the various different elements, they put them into vacuum tubes, they excite it through voltage to release photons of light. So what they're actually doing is mimicking exactly how you get it in sunlight. Now, incandescent lights do not do it that way. Most of it is a result of heat. Most of it is infrared lighting that you're actually seeing, or some infrared, but it's different spectrum of lighting than what you're actually seeing in the visible light spectrum. So devices like the BioCharger that just in 15 minutes a day mimic that sunlight that you would need to get and be out there in a full day, we can actually mimic it, amplify it, and create it in 15 minutes.